Have you ever felt that sudden, intense burst of motivation? That feeling where you just know, this is it. I'm ready now. It could be about starting a new diet, launching a business, learning a language, or finally getting serious about your fitness. It's this powerful, almost electric sensation that you're standing on the brink of a massive, positive change. This is what I call the I'm ready now phase. It feels amazing, doesn't it? It's like the universe has aligned, the stars have conspired in your favor, and you've been given a green light to go after your dreams. But here's the thing that nobody really talks about. This phase, as wonderful as it feels, is also incredibly deceptive. And understanding why is the key to actually making the changes stick, instead of ending up back where you started a few weeks later. Let's break it down. The I'm ready now feeling is essentially a huge spike in motivation. It's often triggered by something specific. Maybe you saw an inspiring video, had a deep conversation with a friend, or hit a personal low point that made you say, never again. Your brain gets flooded with dopamine, the feel-good chemical, and you start visualizing the end result. You see yourself fit and healthy, running a successful company, or speaking fluent Spanish on a beach in Mexico. This vision is so vivid and exciting that it feels almost real, and that's the first trap. The feeling itself is so rewarding that our brain can sometimes mistake the asterisk intention asterisk to change for the asterisk action asterisk of changing. You get a little rush from just planning it all out. You buy the new workout gear, you subscribe to the language app, you register the business name. Each of these small steps gives you another little hit of satisfaction. But this initial momentum, this honeymoon period of motivation, is fueled by emotion. And emotions are temporary. They are not a sustainable source of energy for long-term goals. So what happens when that initial rush fades? This is the part no one explains. You wake up one morning, and the magic is gone. The gym doesn't seem exciting anymore. It just seems like hard work. The business plan looks overwhelming. The language app feels like a chore. This is the critical moment where most people give up. They think, well, I guess I wasn't really ready after all. The feeling is gone. But that's not the truth. The truth is, the I'm ready now phase isn't the starting line. It's just the starting gun. It's the catalyst, not the fuel. Real, lasting change doesn't happen in that initial burst of excitement. It happens in the quiet, unglamorous, everyday moments that follow. It's built on discipline, not motivation. Think of it like launching a rocket. The I'm ready now phase is the massive, fiery explosion of the initial lift. It's spectacular and powerful, and it gets you off the ground. But that initial blast of fuel doesn't get the rocket all the way to the moon. Once it breaks through the atmosphere, smaller, more consistent burns from the engines are what guide it on its long journey. Discipline is those small, consistent burns. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when the initial excitement has worn off. So how do we navigate this? How do we use the I'm ready now phase without falling into its trap? First, acknowledge it for what it is. When you feel that surge, enjoy it. Use its energy. But tell yourself, this is a gift. This is a head start. But this feeling will not last. I have a plan for when it's gone. This simple act of awareness is incredibly powerful. You're preparing yourself for the inevitable dip. Second, while you're still riding that wave of motivation, build systems. Don't just rely on willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. A system is something that makes the right choice, the easy choice. For example, instead of just saying, I'll go to the gym more, schedule specific days and times in your calendar. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Find a workout buddy to keep you accountable. If you're starting a business, break down the huge goal into tiny, manageable daily tasks. Your goal for tomorrow isn't build a business. It is write one paragraph of the business plan or make one phone call to a potential supplier. These systems are your rocket's guidance engines. They keep you on course when the emotional fuel of motivation runs low. Third, focus on identity instead of outcomes. This is a game. Instead of thinking I want to lose 20 pounds, think I am a person who is active and eats nutritious food. The goal of losing 20 pounds is a destination. What happens when you get there? Or what happens when you have a bad week and the scale doesn't move? you get discouraged. But if your identity is that of a healthy person, you just ask yourself, what would a healthy person do in this situation? They'd probably go for a walk, even if they didn't feel like a full workout. They'd choose the salad, not because they're on a diet, but because that's who they are. Every action you take that aligns with your desired identity reinforces it, making it easier to continue. Fourth, embrace the boredom. I know, this sounds counterintuitive. Our culture is obsessed with passion and excitement, but the path to mastery in any field is paved with repetition and, yes, boredom. The professional musician still practices scales. The elite athlete still does basic conditioning drills. It's in the boring, repetitive work that real progress is made. When you learn to show up, even when you're bored, you become unstoppable. You're no longer dependent on feeling ready or inspired. You're just doing the work. Finally, practice self-compassion. You will have days where you slip up. You'll miss a workout. You'll eat the junk food. You'll procrastinate on your project. The old mindset says, "See, I knew I couldn't do it. I've failed." The new mindset says, "Okay, that happened. It's one data point. It doesn't define me or my journey. What can I learn? And what's the plan for tomorrow?" Failure isn't falling down, it's staying down. The "I'm ready now" phase sells you the lie of a perfect, linear journey. The truth is that the path is messy, with ups and downs. Being kind to yourself during the downs is what gives you the strength to get back up. So, the next time you feel that incredible "I'm ready now" sensation, smile. Welcome it. Use its power to set up your systems, define your identity, and take those first few crucial steps. But know in your heart that the real magic isn't in that initial burst. It's in the quiet promise you make to yourself to show up tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, long after the feeling is gone. That's not just how you start something new. That's how you become someone new. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments what you're feeling ready for right now. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building a life you love. See you in the next one. Have you ever felt like you were just going through the motions, waiting for some invisible switch to flip inside you? For a lot of us, that switch seems to flip right around the age of 32. It's this weirdly specific age, isn't it? But there's a real psychological shift that happens. A moment when you look in the mirror and think, okay, I'm ready now. Ready for what? Ready for real life. Ready to take control. Ready to finally become the person you were always meant to be. Let's dive into the psychology of "I am ready now" and figure out why everything seems to change after 32. First, let's talk about the roaring 20s. Our 20s are often a decade of exploration and chaos. We're finishing school, starting our first jobs, moving cities, falling in and out of love. We're chasing what we think we should want. The perfect career, the perfect relationship, the perfect Instagram-worthy life. We're more focused on building a resume than building a life. The goal is to collect experiences, not necessarily to understand them. And that's okay. It's a necessary phase of trial and error. Then, you hit your late 20s, maybe 28, 29, and the first whispers of change begin. You start to get tired. You start questioning everything. Is this the right career for me? Am I with the right person? Why do I still feel like a kid playing dress-up? This is the beginning of the end of the exploration phase. The frantic energy of your 20s starts to die down, creating space for something new to emerge. It's like the tide going out before the tsunami of change that is your early 30s. Neurologically, our prefrontal cortex. The part of the brain responsible for long-term planning, decision-making, and emotional regulation is finally fully mature. It's been developing all through our 20s, and now it's operating at full capacity. This biological milestone means we're literally better equipped to make sound, future-oriented decisions. We're less impulsive and more capable of thinking through the long-term consequences of our actions. Suddenly, the idea of saving for retirement doesn't sound like a bizarre fantasy, and staying in on a Friday night to recharge feels like a wise investment in our well-being. This neurological maturity is a game changer. It allows us to shift from a reactive mindset to a proactive one. The "I'm ready now" feeling is the dawning of this new self-awareness. It's the moment you stop asking, "What do they want from me?" and start asking, "What do I want for myself?" This shift from an external to an internal locus of control is probably the single most important psychological development of our early 30s. We're no longer just characters reacting to a plot written by society, our parents, or our younger, more foolish selves. Let's look at this through the lens of developmental psychology. Our 20s are largely dominated by the intimacy versus isolation stage, where we're focused on forming deep, meaningful relationships. But as we move into our 30s, we enter the generativity versus stagnation stage. This is all about making our mark on the world, contributing to the next generation, and creating something that will outlast us. The feeling of being ready at 32 is often the feeling of being ready to build that legacy. Another huge factor is experience. By 32, we've accumulated a decade's worth of adult life data. We've had successes, and more importantly, we've had failures. Lots of them. We've been fired, we've had our hearts broken, we've made terrible financial decisions. They teach us what we don't want, which is often more valuable than knowing what we do want. By 32, you've likely learned that chasing the shiny object rarely leads to lasting happiness. You've learned that authenticity feels a lot better than fitting in. You've learned that your peace of mind is your most valuable asset. So what does "I'm ready now" look like in practice? It manifests in a few key ways. First, in our careers. Many people make significant career changes in their early 30s. They leave the safe job that's been draining their soul to start their own business, go back to school for something they're passionate about, or pivot to an industry that aligns with their values. They're no longer just looking for a paycheck. They're looking for purpose. They're ready to take the risks because they finally trust their own judgment and know that their happiness is worth it. At 32, we're ready for partnership, not a project. We look for stability, mutual respect, and shared values. We become much better at setting boundaries and communicating our needs. We trade a wide circle of acquaintances for a smaller, more intimate circle of true friends who support us and hold us accountable. And perhaps most importantly, our relationship with ourselves transforms. We start to practice self-compassion. We forgive ourselves for the mistakes of our 20s. We stop beating ourselves up for not being perfect. We might start meditating, going to therapy, or finally getting serious about exercise and nutrition. We recognize that we are our own longest commitment. This isn't vanity, it's sustainability. The "I'm ready now" mentality is fundamentally about accepting and investing in yourself, fully and without apology. For some, This shift might happen at 28, for others at 35 or even 40. But the pattern is remarkably consistent. It's the point where the lessons of the past finally crystallize into the wisdom of the present, allowing us to build a more authentic future. It is the moment we stop running from ourselves and start running toward the life we were always meant to live. It's not a finish line. It's a new starting line. It's the beginning of a life lived on your own terms. So if you're nearing 32, or if you've recently passed it, and you feel that switch flipping inside you, embrace it. You're not imagining it. You're just finally ready. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments what changed for you in your early 30s. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content about navigating life with intention. See you in the next one.